This is your house?
This is my house. This one right here. We moved in 26 years ago. And we did the floors, and we put in windows and doors and painted and just put, my grandchildren loved it. My son and my daughter-in-law, my family, we hosted Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here, and everybody was here. My little house that I loved. My husband just had his 4th cancer surgery. I poured everything into it. My nephew.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
I really am. I don't even know what to say.
That's okay. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just. We haven't been sleeping. We haven't slept. We're staying at a hotel. We have nowhere to go. We don't know what we're doing. We were close neighbors. Buzz and Todd. His mom passed away and they took over the house. John just lost his wife that he adored, but was taking care of that house. She was a Superior Court judge, and Beverly and John, so much love. She was so incredible, and the house is gone.
I just can't believe they're all gone.
They're all gone. See, Debbie and us and Tina, our children went to school together from kindergarten. Our kids are in their 47 years old, and Debbie's 47-year-old son tragically passed away last August. Her oldest child. Her grief is so deep, I can't imagine.
It's so tragic, and there really is, what can you say? It's just awful, and it's not just material possessions, it's memories, it's your home, Home is so much more than just the materials that it's built from, right? We're going to look at a number of high-profile people's responses to this, and then we're going to see the latest updates from Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. And after that, there is some news just coming out now about military equipment that was stolen during all of this nearby to the fires. I'm going to show you the footage of the LA Fire Chief, Kristen Crowley. This story, this interview, has not been covered at all by the left, as you can see on Ground News. It's obviously something that some news agencies are not wanting people to see.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job, and I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
That the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question is about the Santa Ynez Reservoir being empty. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever controls that part. But I can tell you the resiliency of our firefighters, if there's no water, they're going to go find water. They're going to figure out a way to do the best they can with what they've got in a very dynamic situation.
And I know you expressed concerns that those DWP hydrants would not be inspected thoroughly because of the budget cuts.
That is something to discuss, and we're going to look into that in regard to how we can ensure there's going to be water when we need it. But in the end, I'm going to defer that to DWP and whomever else controls the supply. I can guarantee you that when our firefighters showed up on that day with what they had, they did absolutely everything they could do to rescue and to save people's lives and property.
She, I think, was very brave in coming out and saying this. This is someone who has been kind of paraded around by the left. She would have known that this would not have been received well by the left. It would not be received well by her superiors, and it would not be received well by some people on the right who are looking for someone to blame. These interviews that she did in the past about diversity and being a lesbian and all this stuff that's like really should not have anything to do with firefighting and no one cares about, right? Or no one should care about. We know that that was the media, that was news reporters making a story out of something that shouldn't be a story. I personally feel that she was just another pawn in the woke agenda. And the leaders who pushed for the wokeism and to make everything about the woke stuff, they're the ones to be angry with. Tell me if you think differently. Like, I will listen, but that's just my take on it. She actually has been since called into a meeting, I think today, where she allegedly said that she believes she was going to be fired. And I don't think that she has been. There's been no reports about her actually having been fired. And personally, I don't think she will be, because can you imagine how much worse? Like, Karen Bass does not need to dig herself an even deeper hole. But look, this was something that she could have kept quiet on, but no, she actually had the guts to come out and say it. I see in her deep frustration and disappointment, because you can imagine, like, she probably came into this job really wanting to help people, really with good intentions. So we also had members of Congress speaking about this. Have a look.
Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the California legislature has gavelled in to a special emergency session of its legislature. And you might say, well, of course they have. LA is burning to the ground right now. But it turns out that's not actually what this special session is about. No. The legislature has gavelled into a special session called by Gavin Newsom to provide millions of dollars in funding for filing lawsuits against the incoming Trump administration. That is what their priority is at this very moment. Mr. Speaker, there could not be a starker illustration of the abject political failure that has gotten our state to this point.
That is insane. That is insane. I don't know what to say. What is he doing? Why? I still cannot understand the sickness that people seem to have, where they're so obsessed with Trump, like everything becomes about Trump, everything. And somehow their minds just always go back to Trump, no matter what is happening. It's a bizarre phenomenon.
Our politicians have obsessed over things like banning lawnmowers, banning leaf blowers, all the while neglecting our forests and leaving our communities vulnerable. In fact, when it comes to the forests, it is worse than neglect. The state and, frankly, the federal government have put up unnecessary hurdles to doing proper forest management, to clearing vegetation, to doing prescribed burns, which has turned many of our forests and areas adjoining residential areas in many cases as tinderboxes, and caused fires that have, in many cases, become truly catastrophic, community-destroying events. And we've seen it happen, sadly, time and time again. The perversity of it all is that these restrictions on being able to manage our forests, which have decimated the timber industry, by the way, are imposed in the name of the environment. But nothing could be worse for the environment than a catastrophic wildfire. Indeed, when you look at all of the emissions that are saved by every single emissions reduction program that California has, all of that gets wiped out many times over when you have a catastrophic wildfire. So there simply could not be a more backwards policy.
This is the thing that really gets to me, is the kind of incompetent, weird, twisted way of thinking. You're claiming what you're doing is to help the environment, but predictably ending up doing more damage than good. It's not like people aren't aware of the data around fires and how much damage they do to the environment, and not just to the atmosphere, but think about it. Like, think about all of the wildlife, think about how much destruction just in general. So it just doesn't, It doesn't add up.
Do the right thing. This is an emergency. We can do all this dance and we have differences of opinion as it relates to all kinds of issues and values, and and that's fair game, and that's important. That dialectic's important. But having this kind of friction when it comes to emergency response, where the emergency responders, these heroes, 12,000 that are on the front lines right now, taking care of people, making sure people are still alive. We're still doing emergency maintenance and evacuation. We're still concerned about flare-ups and spotting. You got kids right now that don't have money for baby formula, and we're trying to get them disaster assistance.
I just find anytime he speaks on the subject, he starts referring to all of the, very tragic situations that people are in. For me, I perceive that as very manipulative. It's like diverting attention away from anything he possibly could have done wrong by bringing up very emotional, tragic things that are going on. And it's like using it as a shield. Like, don't use mothers without baby formula or whatever as a shield for your own failings, or for, as a way of avoiding any accountability. We haven't heard any accountability here. So he hasn't even admitted that there was even a little bit he could have done better. And that is offensive, but he's doing a very good job of diverting it away, right, from that.
Folks in hotel rooms that have money only for tonight and don't know what's going to happen, haven't even had a chance to see their homes. Here it's standing, or it's here and it's not standing. We want to get them emergency assistance over the course of the next 18 months. That's why I was with the FEMA director today. That's what the President of the United States and I are talking about, and I'd like to have that conversation with the next President of the United States. Let's turn the page as it relates to the new incoming president. We'd like him to have the spirit of the current president and have the backs of people so we can recover. I want him to visit and understand the magnitude of this scope, what happened to the American people that happen to reside here in California. I'm not interested in politicizing an event like this. I don't like the banality of it. I don't like the inhumanity.
The reason he doesn't want to politicize this is because if he did make it about politics, it would just show that his politics have been awful, have been a terrible failure. So of course he doesn't want to politicize it. Have a look at this as well, see what you think. This woman who also lost her house happened upon Newsom on the streets.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally, you know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
So obviously even that is a little bit iffy. He starts off by saying he's in a call with the president right now, and then moments later admits that he doesn't have signal. So that was awkward. I just feel like everything that comes out of his mouth is hollow. I really do. I just get that feeling. Okay, so let's finish up with the military equipment theft. Break-in reported at the US Army Reserve Center in Tustin, California. 3 Humvees, machine gun vehicle mounts, and other equipment has been stolen. On Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, between 8 p.m. and 11:30 p.m., unknown suspects entered a storage warehouse at the Army Reserve Centre in Tustin. Multiple storage lockers were discovered with locks removed and missing gear. An attempt was made to cut a lock to uniform storage, however, was unsuccessful. A fence was cut to gain access to a military vehicle parking lot where 3 Humvees were stolen. The suspect left the area at an unknown time. The Army has informed us there is no known loss of weapons or ammunition other than that is listed below. The following was confirmed missing: 3 Humvees, 1 armoured, 8 machine gun vehicle mounts, 7 freestanding machine gun tripods, medical equipment, 40 pairs of binoculars, 18 bayonets. How does this even happen? It's very alarming. What are they planning on doing with those? And what would they have done with the uniforms if they had gotten those? Yeah. So now they have to figure out where that equipment ended up. What do you guys think is going on there? Let me know your thoughts on everything. Give me any info you find. Give me any updates that you find. Share your opinions. I really, really appreciate your perspectives on all of this stuff. Just once again, sending my best wishes out to anybody who's affected by the tragedy, and I'll see you guys next time.